Okay. Okay. So today we are going to discuss negative double. Last week we've done penalty and takeout. We've given an introduction to the negative, but it's quite a big subject and it will justify a lesson on its own. Okay, so let's start with takeout and negative. Just a quick reminder. I won't go into the details, just mainly how to realize it's a takeout or a penalty rather than something else. Okay, so we already have one very good observation from Beverly saying that takeout double exists mainly or almost exclusively when my partner has not bid. And why is that? Because when I use the takeout double, I'm saying, partner, I want you to choose the suit, not me. If my partner has already bid and bid a suit, they already showed me the longer suit. They clearly bid the longer suit if they bid, okay? The exception is if they bid no trump. So that will be an interesting, we can even maybe have a lesson on that, or at least part of a lesson. If, let's say, I'm playing with Mandy, Mandy opens one or trump and the opponent overcalls, let's say two hearts, double. What is a double now? Okay, so this is more similar to takeout, because even though Mandy bid, she didn't tell me anything about where is her longest suit. So one of them is a very strange bid, because from one side of the coin, it's very descriptive. Balanced hand give us information which is very general about the whole hand, and the points, of course, very accurate. But on the other side, it leaves us very think about defense. Your partner opens one or two, but the opponents win the bidding after that in something. You are on lead. Did it help you that your partner bid one or two for the opening lead? Not really, because they can have any of the suits might be 4 or 5, any of the suits might be 2. So it doesn't really help me, okay, because it has nothing specific about it, yes? And so in those cases, double will basically be a type of takeout as well. So that's why it's hard to generalize only when your partner didn't bid, but that's a good, let's say, general concept. My partner have not shown me the suit, and my double basically, partner, I'm happy with anything that was not bid yet, please bid your longest suit. Takeout double will be used only when opponents bid a suit, so we have a reference. Yes, it cannot happen after one or trump. After one or trump, it's a different type of double. For that also, we could maybe have a lesson that will combine double after one or trump and double after one or trump from the opponents and double after one or trump for my partner. So we can tie it up in a nice lesson. I don't think I've done a lesson like that yet, so it will be very good for next week. Maybe good. You just remind me. I think it's a good lesson, and it also comes up a lot, so it's very useful. Okay, good. So the opponents bid a suit. Level is usually 1 or 2, mainly, okay? But of course, it can happen after the 3 level as well. No trump can be involved in the bidding, but there must be a suit. There must be a suit somewhere. So for instance, it could be 1 heart on my left, pass for my partner, 1 no trump on my right. That will be fine. Okay, so if we look at this bidding, this is takeout. This is takeout against hearts. Okay, 1 no trump is involved, but it's not exclusive. Penalty. So penalty is more problematic. As a start, I would recommend, if you don't have enough experience yet, I would recommend to define generally, if the opponents bid again, all doubles are penalty. Okay? Opponents bid 3 no trump, or more, of course, yes, more is clear, yes, but opponents bid 3 no trump, double is penalty. Opponents bid 5 club, double is penalty. Opponents bid 4 spades, double is penalty. Opponents bid 5 hearts, definitely penalty. Okay, that's not a question. So any contract that is game or more, all doubles are penalty automatically. Then it makes it very very black and white, very clear. There is no question. Okay, and then you can leave the rest of the doubles as takeout. I mean, if it's lower, okay. three spades, three clubs, even four club, you can use double as takeout, even though it's a problem because sometimes we do want to win penalty, we use penalty against, let's say, four diamonds or three spades. Okay, with time, you can find ways to define when doubles are a penalty. If you want a general guideline, not sure if you can implement it yet, but when my partner has given me accurate information, what's the purpose of double which is not penalty? All the doubles that are not penalty, the informative doubles, which includes the negative, the takeout, and other doubles, okay? Doubles that trying to continue some conversation, communicate, send information, ask for information, whatever it is. If my partner have already provided the information accurately, what do you want for them to do next? Okay, so that's when doubles are could be penalty even if it's not a game. Okay, so I don't know if it's something that is tangible enough for you to start using, but that's the concept that at some point you can get. Okay, so we discussed a little bit about doubles generally. Let's go to the negative double. Negative double is the most specific double in bridge. It's extremely specific, and it exists only one position, and that's it. It's the complete opposite of takeout, which is much more versatile. And the position is opening bid for my partner and overcall for my opponents, and I double. That's it. Three bids, one after the other, without any differences. If there is any slight difference, on top of that, my partner bid a suit and the opponent bid a suit. If a no trump was involved, negative double does not exist.
Can you draw down?
Of course. So again, one in a suit for my partner, any suit, not no trump, and overcall in a suit, doesn't matter the level, from the opponent. Yeah, so let's start with one diamond, one spade. Could be one club, two spades, one hearts, two club, one spades, two diamonds, one diamond, three hearts, like preemptive bids, okay? Any one spade, so suit, suit. Opening, overcall, double. That's it. If the double come later, or the bid comes here, or here, or there, or any slight difference in the position, it's no longer negative double. Okay, so extremely specific, but extremely common, because opening bid of a suit and overcall of a suit is very common. And the negative double is probably one of the most, how would I define it? The least demanding, I would say. Okay, if that's a good description. What I'm trying to say is that you don't need much. Think about takeout double. Takeout double, it's quite a specific hand. You need to have shortage in the opponent's suit. You need to have all the other suits, but not if one of them is long, you might overcall. So it's usually like 4-4-4-1, 4-4-3-2, very specific distributions, and of course, at least 12 points. So it's not something that comes up very frequently. Okay. Negative double. First of all, points. If it's the one level, 6 or more. So having 6 points happens. Okay, it's not rare to have at least 6 points. 12 points is obviously much rarer, and all you need is 4 cards in the unbid major. In this case, hearts. That's it. You just need one 4-card suit, specific in a specific suit, and 6 points or more. So it's quite common to have. I mean, it's not something that's rare to have. So the meaning is that there are not a lot of demands or a lot of the requirements are very, very low. So you don't need much to do it, if that makes sense. Okay. So in that sense, it is very common. It comes up a lot because it's a very common opening and overcall, and having 4 cards in hearts and at least 6 points also happens a lot. The main problem is think about the last 2 months you played. Did you run into negative double? My guess is you'll say no. Yeah, did you run into negative double? Haven't used, haven't ran into by anyone else? The most likely is that you had, either you or one of someone at your table had the opportunity to use it, but they haven't realized. People call me to the table in supervised. Once I approach the table, I look at the bidding, I see that it starts like that. Already I'm saying almost definitely double will be the correct answer if they called me. Because obviously, if it was straightforward, you know, 2 diamond or 1 or 1, they probably wouldn't need me, or if they had a lot of clubs to bid 2 clubs. Why would they call me? Usually because they have hearts, but they don't have enough points to bid them, or they don't have enough hearts. So usually when people call me to the table, I see the position, I already know it's going to be done. But most people miss the opportunity, or they don't realize that that's what they should do. They either pass, or bid 1 or trump, or bid something, or bid 2 hearts when of course it's wrong.
They can't bid 2 hearts because they haven't got enough points.
Or not enough points, or not enough cards. Or not enough points, or not enough cards. Because you want to have 5. Exactly.
So
Yes.
negative double means if somebody your partner's opened and somebody has done the major, it just means I've got 4 of the other major and 6 plus points.
Yes, exactly. And by the way, it doesn't have to be major. So I'll give you another example.
Okay.
It basically means you can look at it differently. That might be easier for some. Okay. I wanted to bid 1 heart, but was interrupted.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. It's similar to what you're saying. I just want to show you an example that it doesn't have to be. It could be. Okay, that's interesting. 1 heart, 2 clubs. So the opponent bid the minor, my partner bid the major. The double will still show the unbid major, which means spades. So again, I wanted to bid 1 spade. And of course, what sometimes happens funny, and this is a bit of a, you know, it's a little bit irony that sometimes the overcall help you. It does happen, yes? Because when we learn overcall, we are saying we are interrupting the bidding. And yes, for instance, they here no longer allow me to bid 1 heart, and here, if the bidding goes 1 spades, 2 clubs, I can no longer bid 1 or trump. But once you learn to use the negative double, sometimes the overcall opens a door that did not exist without the overcall. Look at this position. If the bidding goes 1 spade pass and I have hearts, I have a problem. I have to bid 2 hearts. I need 5 cards. I need 10 points. If the bidding goes 1 spades and there is an overcall, 2 clubs, I can double. I have 4 hearts. I couldn't have shown that if there was no overcall. Okay? So it's interesting that sometimes the overcall is helping us. And we'll soon, when we'll discuss negative double more, we'll see more positions that the overcall will help us distinguish between 4 or 5 cards in the major. And something, again, that you cannot do in a normal response, and definitely not in the first round. Okay? So keep in mind that overcalls sometimes can help us as well. It's not only interrupting us. Okay. What we want to add in this position and generalize it, when the overcall was at the 2 level, the double wants to have more points. Okay? Because we're already forcing the bidding to the 2 level. Here, remember the partner can still bid 1 or trump, or maybe 2, you know, we can hopefully keep it maybe a bit lower, so 6 points, 7 points will be sufficient. After a 2 level overcall, we define it as, let's say, 8. Why 8? So we have 20 points between us, at least. Okay? You want to do it with more, with less, do it with less. That's your problem, but your partner will expect you to have a bit more. Okay? So, for instance, one of the problems here is that if partner had 15 points and a balanced hand, they will have to bid 2 or trump. Yes, which of course forces the bidding a bit high. If I have, let's say, 7 points, 6 points, and partner has 15, It's a bit high. Yes, so keep in mind that after the 2-level, the bidding is forced a little bit higher. You need to be a bit more cautious with the points. Okay, tough. Let's stop here. That was, of course, introduction of the basic negative number, the position, and the definition of what it shows. Let's stop here for questions, please.
I might be jumping to the next bit, but what if the opening is one club, one diamond?
Yeah, that's the next thing.
That's the next one, shush then.
No, we'll do it soon. That's what I'm going to do just now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do
Okay.
just now. One more thing that I can add before we go to your question. It's a good question, and that's what I want to discuss. The negative double will include hands that have more cards in the other major, so more than 4, I mean. I might have 5 or even 6, but I'm not strong enough to bid it. So that creates a bit of a difficult to read bids. But let's start. If I have 5 cards in hearts, my incentive is to bid 2 hearts. Agreed? It will show my 5 cards, and then of course partner can support with 3, which is better. But going to the 2-level in a new suit as the responder, we don't want to do it with 8 points. Again, a partner might have only 12, and I'm pushing them already. If they don't have hearts, to go to 3 diamonds, 3 clubs, and where will we stop? The big advantage of the double, partner can be 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 1 outer. We can start the bidding low. So if I have the 10 points, fine, I'll bid 2 hearts. If I have 7 points, I still want to bid to show my hearts, so I'll use the double. So the double could be 4 cards, but could be 5 cards when the hand is not strong enough to bid it. Make sense? It means, and that's many people will be difficult for them to realize, I guess, but it means that if the bidding goes something like 1 diamond, 1 spade double, negative, pass, let's say 2 diamonds. Okay, I don't have hearts, I have diamonds, whatever. It's a normal. By the way, how to respond to the double? We'll try to do today, even though it's relatively straightforward. It's basically similar to rebid. There is no big difference. Okay? But we go there. 2 diamond means I don't have hearts, I don't have a balanced hand, I have diamonds, don't have clubs, otherwise I would have shown 5-4. Probably, and then pass, and now I bid 2 hearts. What does it mean? How many hearts do I show? Exactly, more than 4. Let's put it this way. Definitely more than 4, likely to be 6. What do I show about points? Weak or strong? How do you know it's weak? You're correct.
I just do.
If I had 10 points, would I have double?
No.
So this is restricted to 9 points. Cannot be more than 8 or 9. Why? Because once we realize that we have more than 4 hearts, why didn't you bid it right away? Answer, I did have the 10 points required for that. And that's how the partner knows to potentially pass and stop the bid. This is a bit more sophisticated. I'm not sure if many people will realize that, but this shows a low outsuit, potentially 6, but a weak hand, and want to stop the bidding.
And so how many points did you say again?
Less than 10. If I had 10, I would bid 2 hearts right away. Okay, Beverly, makes sense? Yeah. Okay, good. So this is the basics of the negative double. Let's go to your question, Sarah. And Sarah's question is, what happens when? Now, let's generalize a bit more your question. Your question more specific. The generalize is A, no major was bid yet. B, both majors were bid. Both of them are problematic because in both of those cases, there is no unbid major. Okay? Okay. So if the bidding goes one club, one diamond, or one diamond, two club, or one club, two diamond, any position that both my partner and the opponent bids a minor, okay? Let's say one diamond, two club, doesn't matter, okay? Double shows at least one of the majors, preferably both, but you can do it with one of them. You'll say, partner, I have at least 4 cards in one of them. If you have a major, show me that major. Hopefully, we'll find the fit. Of course, that as the level is higher, it's more dangerous because, for instance, if I have hearts and my partner will bid spades and we didn't find the fit, I need to bid something. So keep in mind that it could happen and you have to be cautious or stronger. As I'm stronger in points, of course, it's less of a problem. If I'm weaker in points, I need to be more cautious. If the bidding went one club, one diamond, it's a bit less dangerous because the level is still low, of course. So you need to decide. But generally speaking, when both minors were big, double means I have at least one 4-card major, maybe 5, as we've seen before, if I don't have the 10 points. So it's similar to the normal negative double, it's just not specified. Okay, so the minor, the major is not named, it's not described specifically.
You have to bid a major if you're responding to the double. Or could you go back to the diamonds?
As far as I remember, we are in a free country. Why would you have to do something?
I thought maybe you said you had to.
Let me ask you a question.
Show me.
If you-
show me your
If you bid one diamond and I bid one spades, what do I ask you? If you have spades,
Yeah,
do you have to bid spades?
only if I have them.
Exactly. It's the same. What's the difference? I'm saying I have 4 cards major. If my partner does not have 4 card major, why would it be the major?
Well, he doesn't know which one you've got.
Okay, if my partner has a 4 card major, they'll bid it in the hope that I have.
Yeah.
But if they don't have 4 card major, of course they wouldn't. Sorry. So maybe I misunderstood your question. Your question was, let's say they have 5 diamonds and 4 major, and they're afraid that I don't have the 4 major that they have.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, so I misunderstood. Sorry. I misunderstood your question. I thought you were asking that if they have to be the major, even if they don't have it. So that was my misinterpretation. So you're saying they have a 4 card major, but they are afraid that I don't have it.
Well, it's the same sort of question, really.
No,
No.
it's not the same question. Because if they don't have 4 card in major, they'll definitely not be the major. There is no question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they'll bid what they do have. Balanced hand, more diamonds, or whatever. Okay? If they have a 4 card major, they should bid it because that's what I'm asking them. I'm trying to find a major. First of all, I might have both. It's a possibility. And if I only have one, maybe it's the same one that they have. Now, if they bid, let's say, 2 diamonds, I will assume that they don't have 4 card majors, and then we might miss the fit. So, no, it should. By the way, generally speaking, you have 5-4. That's the position. You have 5 diamonds. You have 5-4. Forget about the negative double. What usually do you do as an opener? Bid there and then bid there. Okay, it's the same. I'm not asking you to do something different here. If you have 5 diamonds and 4 spades, 1 diamond, 2 club double, 2 spades, I have 5 diamonds and 4 spades. It's not asking you to do something out of the ordinary. Okay, but if I don't double, you wouldn't necessarily think that I have the major, and then we might miss the fit. Okay, so that's why the double encourages that. Let's say, okay, but you're not asked to do something that you wouldn't have done probably normally in the normal circumstances if there was no overcard. So, for instance, 1 diamond pass, 1 heart pass, 1 spade. No, you're sure it's diamonds and spades. The overcall, of course, complicate things because it's probably pushing the bidding higher and makes it more difficult to us to communicate. So the double is helping us. Makes sense? But it's not unnatural what you're asked to do. Mandy.
Hey, I've got a problem.
Okay.
Okay, so you say I'm one diamond, two clubs, my partner says double.
Mhm.
So he may have four in one of the other majors likely, and I've got
Not
to
likely.
respond.
Not like 100%.
No, and I've got to respond.
If they pass, you have to respond, yes.
And so what if I've got five diamonds, three hearts, three spades and two clubs? So I've got nothing.
Why is that a problem? That's a problem.
Well, so
That's-
I've got.
You have too many options here.
So
Why is
I've
that
got
different?
five diamonds, so I've already shown him my diamonds, and he's not interested in
That's
those.
not correct. First of all, when you bid one diamond, you could have four. If you want to repeat diamond with five, you can. But the hand that you're describing, 5-3-3-2, is a balanced hand.
Yeah,
So if you have a balanced hand, you would usually bid no trump.
no trump, yeah.
Now, if you had 12 to 14, you'd have opened one or trump. So the meaning is that in your example, you must have 15 points.
Yeah,
What you are encouraged to do is to be two not trump here to show balance and 15 points at least, 15, 17. And a good question will be, what happens if I have that hand and my clubs are very weak, or I don't have a club stopper?
right.
That's a difficult question. Your question was easy because because you have the five diamonds, so you can bid that diamond. What's the problem? Repeating a suit with five cards is, well, I wouldn't say it's my first choice, but it's definitely possible. Okay? If you have a balanced hand and more than 14 points, and the natural thing to do will be to bid no trump, but you have a problem with the opponent, so that's a problem. That's a real problem. And then I agree, then the solution is more problematic, or but your example was not difficult. And remember, if you find yourself in a problematic scenario because of the double that forces you to bid, repeating your suit with five cards is absolutely fine.
Okay.
Again, it's definitely not my first choice. My first choice will be no trump, always, or showing a second suit, always better, because it's much more descriptive. But if I feel, for instance, you might have five diamonds and four clubs, of course you cannot bid clubs. You will still bid two diamonds. You can bid two diamonds with five clubs, it's absolutely fine. Okay? It's fine, don't worry. With five cards, it's fine. Yes, I agree. It's not amazing, but okay, good. Yes. So-
I have a lingering question on something you said earlier,
Okay.
where you said
Yeah.
if you've got five or six. As soon as you said six, I thought, well, where did preemptive bids come into this?
Okay. Good. So remember, you're talking about the responder or the opener? Responder.
Yeah.
Responder. Okay. So by definition, preemptive does not exist in response.
Oh, okay.
Okay, unless you define it with your partner specifically.
Right.
Okay, so naturally, one diamond. If I open one diamond, my partner bids two spades or something. It's not considered or not interpreted as a preemptive. The basic definition is a very strong hand, 15 or 16 points or more, and usually six cards, something, hands that wants to go to slab, things like that. That's the basic definition in ACOL. I'm personally not a big fan of that, but that's the definition. If you want to define it as a preemptive, fine, you can, but that has to be agreed in the partnership. And the second thing is, if the bidding goes one diamond, two clubs, let's say, or one diamond, one spades, what we had before, two hearts will never be a preemptive because it's not a jump. So you have to jump to three if you want to consider it to be a preemptive. So even if you have the agreement that you can use a preemptive in a response, which is absolutely fine, you still have to jump to the three level. You can't do it at the two level because it's not a jump. Unless the bidding goes something like one diamond, one heart, and you bid two spades. So that's very specific.
I'm a bit concerned I completely misunderstood the preemptive because I thought you didn't need too many points.
No, I'm not talking about the hand, I'm talking about the bidding. Preemptive, in order for a bid to be interpreted as a preemptive, it has to be a jump.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but you said,
No.
it's 15, 16 points.
No, that we're talking about the opener, not the responder.
Oh,
No, you're right. I did describe a hand that was 6 to 9 points and longer half. So 5 is not enough for a preemptive, but 6 cards in hearts, you're right, could have been enough for a preemptive. But, okay, it's a good question. So let me ask you this. You have 6 hearts and you have 7 points. If you are the dealer, what do you open? Straightforward, 2 hearts. Okay? If you're the dealer, you open 2 hearts, 6 hearts, 7 points. That's the definition. Okay? If with the same hand, 6 cards in hearts, 7 points, I open 1 diamond and the opponent passes. Let's say they don't overcall. Let's start with basic. I open 1 diamond, they pass. What would you bid? Exactly. You won't go to 2 hearts. You bid 1 heart. Why? Because you have no reason to. You don't have a reason to interrupt your partner bidding. The 1 heart gives your partner the chance to describe the hand. You can always go to 2 hearts later or repeat the hearts later if it's higher, okay? But the first instance, you want to communicate as low as possible. So we don't need the preemptive there. Now, if I won 1 diamond and the opponent did overcall 1 spades, now what do? If you bid 2 hearts now, it's not a preemptive because it's not a jump. So if you want to use a preemptive, which I might accept, you'll have to bid 3.
But then your partner will think you've got 7.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Double followed by 2 hearts will describe that hand. And also keep the bidding low. But if you have 7 hearts, after an overcall, I think that it's good. It's a good practice to use a preemptive. Especially if there was an overcall and then you are interrupting the partner of the overcall from continuing the bidding. Okay, so, but as a general definition, we are usually not using preemptive when my partner opened the bidding. Again, unless you have agreement or unless there was an overcall or something. Yes.
And you can do it with 6 to 9 points.
Yeah, not good. Should. That's a definition.
Right.
It's
should.
5 to 10. If you are stronger, then you shouldn't use preemptive. Okay.
That's misunderstood, yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so this position, clear? Yes, it's a bit, you're right. It could create problems. I agree. It could create problems. Okay, what happens if both of the suits were majors? 1 heart, 2 spades, 1 spade, 2 hearts, 1 heart, 1 spade, whatever the combination is. So there is no more unbid major because both majors were already bid. Okay. So here the double will show both minors, and unlike a major, it cannot be one of them because with minors, if we have 1 minor, we'll probably just ignore it. I mean, if it's only 4 cards, yes. If I have a long minor, I can just bid it. Well, I have to go to the 3 level, but so double means at least 4/4 in the minors, usually longer than that, but it's not necessarily longer than that. In most cases, it's more likely to be 5/4 because if I have 4/4, I have a balanced hand, so I might bid no double. If I can, then of course I might have a problem with the stopper in the spade suit. Yes, Yula.
Because you've got 2 spades, that's a jump, isn't it?
It's a preemptive, yes. That shows 6 cards and 6 to 10 points, but it doesn't really change my bid, whether it's 1 heart, 2 spades, or let's compare that to 1 spade, 2 heart. There is no big difference, apart from the fact that I could have bid 2 spades here to support it, here I cannot bid 2 hearts. But from the double point of view, there is no big difference. I'm showing the 2 other minors.
How many points?
Yeah, that's a good question because of the level. So always be conscious of the level. The definition, the negative double, a little bit like overcall, is defined, the points are defined based on the level. So overcall, 1 level overcall could be, let's say 7, 8, 2 level about 10, 3 level a bit more. Here, similar. If the overcall wasn't the 1 level, I can do it with a normal response, 6 points. When the overcall was 2 level, maybe 8, 9, and here I would even say be more cautious because see the difference. 1 spade, 2 hearts double, your partner can bid 2 spades. Exactly your question from before, remember? That even if they have 5, but they don't find a convenient bid, I can give you examples, they have the 2 spades, but at least you're still at the 2 level and it's not too high. Here, it's no longer possible because of the preemptive, so they have to go to 3. So I would say this double, it's a bit different than here, even though it's a 2 level. But your partner can no longer bid their own suit at the 2 level, which is usually the let's say the default for problematic hands or weak hands or hands that are afraid to go to the 3 level. Here, the 3 level is unavoidable unless they beat one more time, which is very specific, of course. So
How many points would it be to neutral?
from the opener or from
No,
the responder?
from,
No, I meant that if I double, my partner has to go to the 3 level unless they beat one more time.
yeah. But do they need a specific point count?
For what? To beat one more time after my double?
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be a balance 15-17. Like it, remember, my partner after negative double is basically rebid. There is no big difference. It's rebid. Rebidding no trump shows a balance and at least 15 points. Otherwise, they would have opened one more time to begin. At least that's the interpretation. The problem is that sometimes, and mainly if they have 4 cards in spades, it does happen. And then they are stuck because they usually with 5-4, we bid the 5, then we bid the 4. But clearly, I'm not going to bid the opponent's suit. So it puts me in a potential problem. Yeah, there are problems. Yes, the overcall, especially if it's a preemptive, puts pressure on the bidding and yeah, and makes the conversation more problematic. Definitely, there could be problems. So you need to be conscious. I mean, here with the double, I would prefer 10. I would prefer 10 to have. You want to do it with a bit less, do it with less. I mean, it's up to you. But if you do it with less, you're taking a bit of a risk. Your partner might have to go to 3 hearts. You might have 5 clubs and 4 diamonds. Your partner might not have minors. Then you might find yourself a bit high. Yeah. So, but remember, preemptive, that's the goal of the preemptive. To ruin your communication. And yeah, problem, I agree.
What's the goal of the preempt?
To ruin, to sabotage the communication between my opponents.
Yeah.
That's the goal of the preemptive.
Yeah.
That's why we bid high, even though we are weak. The bidding of the high is not because I'm so excited to go higher and to make more tricks. I might not make it, but the interruption to the bidding means that in many cases my opponents will try to do something and they'll find themselves too high or miss the correct suit because they didn't have enough space and room to communicate. It does happen. So the double is helpful. The double is very helpful because at least I don't take any bidding space any more than the preemptive already took. Okay. So it's a good weapon against the preemptive, but the preemptive is still interrupted. There is no way around. Okay. Okay, good. Next. So our next interesting bit, let's say, about the negative double is the ability to distinguish between 4 and 5 cards. And that happens when the responder has the option to bid their suit at the 1 lane. So the bidding goes, say, let's go from the other, let's change the position. Okay, so I open 1 club, there is a 1 heart opening, and then of course my partner is in the negative double position. My partner double, okay? What does this double show based on what we have learned? 4 cards in the unbid major. What is the unbid major? Spades. Look at the bidding. 1 club, 1 heart. Who's interrupting? You can bid 1 spade. What do you want? Why double? Okay. So basically, there is basically we have 2 options. We can bid double to show 4 spades. We can bid 1 spade. So now that creates the opportunity to distinguish between 4 or 5 cards. Now, let's see the advantage, okay? So, Yula, I'm playing with you. I open one club. You forget about the opponents. We'll see another example where we've seen an example where overcall, especially preemptive, makes it difficult on us. Here we'll see an example where the overcall makes it easier. And by the way, there was an example on Monday, a very nice hand. I might mention it. So imagine that the opponents don't beat. Yes, in theory, if I would ask you, say, the opponents does not beat, then of course my life are easy. My conversation or my options to communicate with my partner are less restricted. Yes, makes sense. Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes the overcalls help us. So let's look at the position. Okay, I open one club. Eula, as my partner, beats one spades. I have unbalanced with, let's say, 5 clubs, 6 clubs. I beat 2 clubs. I don't have a balance. Now look at the problem. Eula has a weak hand, 7.6 points, and it definitely does not go to game. But
She started the bid.
no, I open one club. She responded 1 spade from 6. Okay. I open one club. Eula beats 1 spade. Here, I'll put it on the board. It'll be easier for you. I open one club. Eula beats 1 spade. I beat 2 clubs. So I open the bidding. Eula is 6 plus. In reality, she is weak. She's near the 6, 7 points off. She knows that I'm long in club. She knows that I'm nearer the 12. She definitely doesn't want to go to game. But she does have 5 cards in spades. Now, when I beat 2 clubs, I denied spades, but I denied 4. Could I have 3? Potentially. Or 2, potentially. 1, potentially. 0, potentially. Okay. So will she repeat the spades? Taking the risk is dangerous, because if I don't have spades, what? I'll go higher, but she has no points. So there is a problem. And what happens in those cases, in many cases, sometimes we miss the spades and we stay in clubs, because Eula justifiably doesn't want to take the risk to go to 2 spades and leave it in 2 clubs. But of course, this is a minor, it's inferior. Sometimes the fit will be not as good. What?
What's happening?
Yeah, it happens a lot. Now, see the irony. When they overcall one heart, they allow Eula to tell me whether she has 4 or 5 right away in the first round.
So if she got 4, she'd just go 1 spade.
No, the opposite. The opposite. Remember, because the double is defined as 4 cards. It's the opposite. Double is 4.
Got 4 cards.
Exactly. Okay?
Yeah.
And 1 spade is 5 plus. Okay? Of course, in spades, most of them, it wasn't clear. We're talking about the spades here. So the overcall allows, and of course, that here, because the level is low, both of them is 6 plus. The points are the same. So once Eula is strong enough to respond, then she can either be double or 1 spade. The points are the same. So double shows 4 cards exactly 6 plus points. 1 spade, 5 cards or more, also 6 plus. Okay. So of course, that if I have 3 cards in spades, I will support her right away. Yes, and this came up, and it was interesting that what happened was this hand was strong, like 18 points. The one club, 1 heart, 1 spade. They knew it was 5. They had 3 spades. They went to 4 spades. If the bidding goes 1 club, 1 spade, and you have 3 spades and 18 points, you don't know that they have 4. So you might jump. You have to jump. So, but you have a problem to support with 3. It's not always easy to find that fit, 5-3. Okay, so the overcall sometimes help us. It's very strange, but it does happen. Okay, so this is another very nice extra that we get from the negative double. Okay, last questions. Okay, so that's the negative double. We didn't have time to do the responses, but just to say that the response to negative double is very similar to rebid. No trump to show balance M15. Repeat your suit could be 5. Second suit 5-4, and of course supporting the partner will be the first priority. That's very clear. And yeah, it's quite straightforward. Yes,
Yeah, that was good, thank you.
thank you very much. Okay, let's play.